What up, it's your boy Blake K. Today I'm gonna be showing you how to make a rage beat, whether you're a beginner producer or an intermediate one. I'm gonna make sure you know what's going on. To begin with, y'all might be thinking, we doing rage shit? Fuck it. Let's bust out Cymatics Odyssey EDM sample pack, pick a loop. Fuck no. We're not doing that. We don't do that shit. Everybody's used every single loop from that kit. Everybody's reversed it, chopped it, pitched it up, pitched it down. They've done everything. So we are not doing that shit. So please, for the sake of rage beats not getting old, do not use a Cymatics loop. So now that we got that out of the way, let's hop into the real shit. So yeah, here in FL Studio, I got this rage beat pulled up that I made a while back. It's nothing crazy, clearly inspired by Mr. Rage, but that's the point, to show you guys how easy it is to make a beat like this. You don't need a Cymatics loop. If you have FL Studio installed, you have Flex, unless you're using like FL11, which if you are, just update, there's no point. It's literally just a worse version of FL Studio. Anyway, so you have Flex, and all you gotta do for the main chords is just type in saw. There's so many different presets here that you can use. They all sound good. You can even buy more. I wouldn't recommend it because these here are good enough. But there's so many other VSTs you could use. But if you're just going with stock plugins, Flex, perfect for rage shit. For example, here's what these chords sound like just on their own. I'm using the pitched saws preset in Flex. So as you can hear, that shit is fire. Super simple. And I used a stock plugin for it with FL Studio. I could have used any of these presets. Let's try simple saws. It would take a little bit of tweaking, you know, like turn off the delay, the reverb, probably increase the attack a bit. You know what I mean? You could use any of these. Same shit, turn off the delay and reverb. That one's kind of whack, but you get the point. You could use any of these, almost. So yeah, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that this is the only way to make rage beats, you know. You could do whatever you want. Like Ultra snippets, they all sound different, you know. You got Supercell, Molly Hart, they all have a different bounce. Not all of them are trying to recreate Mr. Rage. The beat I have here clearly is, but you don't have to do that. Make your own shit, be original. That's what we need in rage beats. Everybody just wants to sound like Mr. Rage, and that's not what people want to hear. Everybody's hopping on the same shit. It's never gonna be as big as Mr. Rage, so you gotta be original. Okay, you gotta do your own shit. So the next thing I added was just a sub bass following the root notes of the chords, so D sharp, D, D sharp, D, and it sounds like this. It just gives it more presence, and obviously I take it out when the 808's there just so they're not clashing. And then I just added this ambient lead here. It doesn't add much at all. It just barely sits, it tucked in the melody. You barely notice it overall. It's just really tucked in there. So yeah, and the very last thing I added for the melody was this growl sound. You could get these from like any EDM kits, because after all, that's what rage beats are really inspired by, is EDM. So I just have this growl sound here. And for rage beats, for the most part, you gotta keep the drums simple, just because there's already so much going on melodically, and you gotta have room for the rapper, and if everything's just filled up, they're not gonna be able to rap on it, and they're not gonna use your beat. So, you gotta keep it simple. So, you know, for the 808, classic Zay 808, because after all, like, these rage beats are just EDM combined with, like, Pure Born, Art Dealer, Out of Town, all those beats. It's just, like, Pure Born, but really exaggerated. So you can use all the sounds you'd use in a Pure Born type beat, but just with some really crazy shit going on with the melody. So here's just the 808 on its own. super simple, you know, not much going on, but it's super necessary because the drop has to come in heavy. Anyway, next thing is a clap. Super simple, just, you know, where the clap goes every single time. Next thing, we got a super simple hi-hat. They have like a pure boring bounce to them because after all, like I said, it's just pure boring beats, but there's some crazy shit going on. So yeah, that's the hi-hat pattern. Nothing crazy at all, you know, super simple like I said. I just randomized the velocity because even though this beat is super robotic sounding because, you know, we're using synths, you know, still gotta give it a little bit more bounce. And then we just got a super simple open hat here. Then I got these really filtered sounding snares that are like barely there, but you definitely notice them. They do that one pattern that everybody does. And lastly, you know, we got a crash here. And we got that classic pure board sound. And also we got the thunder sound too. That's used in a lot of pure beats. And the very last sound is this reverse crash heading out of the hook. And here's all the drums in context. And here's everything all together. So yeah, overall with the melody, just do some crazy shit, obviously make it musically make sense. Like if you wouldn't listen to it, it's probably whack, so just stay within the lines of if you would listen to it, it's fire. The 808 has to be smacking, and keep the drums super simple, but make sure they got bounce, throw some pure boring sounds in there, and you got a full rage beat. So yeah, it's been your boy Blake K. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that crazy shit. I'll let the beat play out for the rest of the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. More tutorials coming soon, more videos overall. Let me know what you guys would like to see, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Blake K.